Welcome back. Today is December 31st, 2020. And I thought it would be a good time today to sort of speak to what this past year has been for many of us, and also the gains that we can take with us on into 2021. My name is Loni, licensed marriage, family, and child therapist. It's been an honor to be able to speak on YouTube and have you listen, and I appreciate that. And I am dedicating this particular conversation to my East Coast son, Tim. And I've known Tim for quite a few years, and he is a remarkable young man that's turning into a wonderful adult. And I just felt it was appropriate that I honor him in this way. So Tim, thank you. And I also just want to thank everybody who has followed along. I appreciate that. It's been a first for me, and that's one of the conversations that I want to have today, is about what this year has been, because it's been a lot of hellos to firsts of new things, and a lot of goodbyes. And a lot of the hellos have come very clandestine. We didn't really see them coming. And I think each one of us can have our own hellos and embrace them, what that has been for us. I'll just make a joke here. My first hello was my gray hair. I opted in March to start letting it grow and embrace me being a woman of age, soon to be 67, and to embrace who I am becoming as an older woman. And I think when I was so busy and running to and fro, I didn't really have time to pause and just be with it. So this experience of COVID, where we've all been home, has had a lot of first. And so that's been a remarkable thing. And also a lot of goodbyes. Each one of us, I think if we could take a moment and maybe even write them down, as this year is coming to a close, what are the gains that have been there for you? What were the lessons that you learned? What has been in the way, and then you've realized, oh my goodness, it really is the way. It's not really that big of a moment of discrepancy in how you understand it, but that you realize, okay, what's been in the way is the way. That was the teacher. So a couple of things I wanted to share with you, because I think you've heard me speak about Nick, and I'm just going to quickly hold up this picture. I hope you can see it. Yes, that's Nick Elliott, and he has been my teacher for well over 20 years. Even though he's gone into the spirit world, he's still teaching me. And every New Year's Eve for years, we would drive up to Manzanita Reservation, and he would have a ceremony, sweat lodge, and we would go in and crawl in at maybe 11 o'clock at night and pray and let go of the year that we were saying goodbye to, and then embracing the new year that was coming. And so I won't be in a sweat lodge this year. Haven't had the opportunity for a bit since Nick has been gone. But he made this for me one year, and it really touches my heart, because he hand sewed the whole thing for me, and he put a particular button on there, and it said, honor the circle. And so what that means to me is the people that have come into my life, and there is a place of honoring for them. And so I want to say to you and to all of you, today I honor you, because you are a part of my circle. Just the fact that you would tune in and listen is amazing to me. So I want to say thank you for that. Also, I wanted to, talk about this year of unrest on many levels, of COVID, of civil unrest, and the awakening that has been happening in our consciousness as far as waking up to what has maybe been in the shadow of America. And now the shadow has been revealed. And that's remarkable. And I think that's one of the amazing things that's happened out of 2020 is that what was hidden, or that we thought was hidden, has now been brought to the surface, and we can see it from Black and brown people, what's happened 500 plus years ago with Native Americans, what's happened 400 years ago with African Americans that were brought to this continent. So all of that has been revealed, and the genie's out of the box, and we can't put it back. That's one of the blessings of this year, because we've all been quiet enough that we were able to really see it. And many of us saw it right in our living room. Some of us saw it right in our neighborhoods. So that has been an amazing opportunity for us to see the shadow and begin to change our hearts and begin to do something about it. And I don't think that we can go back into our hole of unconsciousness and pretend like all that isn't real. And so I'm going to read a poem that her name is Kitty O'Meara. Many of you may have heard it. I stumbled upon it on Facebook, probably in March or April. And she actually changed the title, and it's called In the Time of the Pandemic. She writes, "And the people stayed home, and they read books and listened, and they rested and exercised and made art and played games and learned new ways of being and were still. And they listened more deeply. Some meditated, some prayed, some danced, some met their shadows. And the people began to think differently, and the people healed. And in the absence of people living ignorant, dangerous, mindless, and heartless ways, the earth began to heal. And when the danger passed and the people joined together again, they grieved their losses and made new choices and dreamed new images and created new ways to live. And they healed the earth fully as they had been healed." Oh, let it be so for all of us, that as the earth heals, that we heal, because that's the only way we're going to survive. It's the only way that we're going to survive. Because if we continue on this path of enormous consumerism and bigger and better and need more, we're going to continue to deplete this Mother Earth of ours, which is going to destroy us. So it's an opportunity for us to heal. I tell my husband Jack all the time, whenever I see like a bear wandering around Los Angeles, or somebody posts something where a bear is touching somebody's foot, it makes my heart sing, because it tells me they're not gone. They're not gone. And as long as they're not gone, then there's hope for us, that we can continue on and heal the circle and honor the circle and respect the circle. And the only way that we're going to do that is by accepting one another, including our diversity, our differences. And I think if anything that 2020 has revealed to us is the part of this nation that has been unconscious, and wanted to keep things business as usual. And rather than allowing that to happen, there was a stirring, there was an uprising, there was a birthing of the truth. And that truth is something that we all need to take with us into 2021 so that we can continue to heal. We can help heal one another. How do we go about doing that? I've made a conscious effort this year that I don't care who it is, where it is, I'm going to make contact with whatever human is in front of me and greet them, acknowledge them, say hello, from one human being to another, because that's what's going to make the difference. And even though most of us have been home, whether it's the Amazon person coming to the door, the UPS person coming to the door, the mail person coming to the door, but really making that conscious effort to say thank you. Don't take anything for granted. Be appreciative. And I really say thank you to them for putting their lives at risk, really, to make sure that my family is okay. And so, in thinking about what it means to honor the circle, when I think about what Nick would teach me, he, in the sweat lodge, would tell me that the heat from the rocks was there to help us pray and to be able to let go. And what he would say, give away anything that you need to, any fears, give away to the grandfathers, which were the rocks, and they were hot. And there's something about what that is saying, because really at a deep, deep level, what Nick was saying is face your fear, face those parts of you that you've hidden that are uncomfortable to have to take a look at, and bring them to the rocks, bring them out, acknowledge them. And that's what Kitty O'Mara's poem is saying, that we can return as we heal, and we can help continue. I'm hopeful. I am not going to live in despair. I'm not going to live in fear, because fear has torment. And love and fear, I know, cannot live in the same house psychologically. So I am choosing to walk in love and to continue to be hopeful that this planet is going to continue to heal. So many of the elders have spoken, and they have said, this is our time. This is our time to make the difference. I don't want to go back asleep. I don't want to go back and hide and just live a life of convenience and comfort. So I challenge you today to think about that and write the things down that 2020 has taught you, the good and the bad. There's been losses all the way around. I've had numerous friends in the hospital. COVID hit hard. And yet, they're hopeful. I'm hopeful. And tonight, my husband and I are going to have a sacred fire outside, and I'm going to write down everything that I want to let go of 2020, and then the things that I'm also going to carry into 2021. So the things that I'm carrying is love, compassion, understanding, standing for what is right, standing for what is true, and holding one another as we navigate this. So be well. Thank you for stopping by. Hope to hear from you soon. See you next year.